John McCain, a war hero, 5.5 years as a POW.
He launched his campaign mocking a war hero.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured.
He refused to lay a wreath honoring the Americans killed in World War I, calling them suckers and losers.
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
Trump attacked the husband of Nikki Haley, who was deployed overseas serving his country.
What happened to her husband? Where is he?
Trump attacked the sacred Congressional Medal of Honor.
They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead.
Now this draft dodger holds campaign photo ops on the sacred ground of Arlington. When told it was against the rules, his campaign thugs pushed aside the Arlington Cemetery official.
An ANC employee was pushed aside.
This election is about patriotism. Will you support a man who attacks our military and holds photo ops at Arlington Cemetery? We know who Donald Trump is. The question is, who are we?
Hey again. So how'd you guys like that, just hanging out stream? Think we'll do more of those. I liked it. It was a little bit fun, kind of chill. A little bit less, serious than, some of the other streams. It's nice to get out of the news every once in a while, huh? What do you think? What do you think? Give me some feedback, you know? Go over there and, drop a comment or something. Or maybe I'll put a poll up in the, community section on the YouTube channel. Should be a good time for you guys to like and subscribe, you know, answer a poll, participate. Anyway, into the news. Let's see what we're starting with here. Okay, let's start off with some, lighthearted stuff, shall we? Over here to the, Discord. So, yeah. Not sure who this guy is, but, it's kind of, ironic that Maga loves to shit on Taylor Swift, considering she's selling out arenas, and, well, this is their guy.
It sounds good, but it's not me. There we go. We ready to make America great again?
Yes, sir.
Sing on the story about me. Only going to scream on me. What's going on, guys? So how's everybody doing?
Yeah, so all we have is Taylor Swift. For us, huh? If only we could get, whoever the hell that is. Okay. What else we got? Oh yeah, Trump, the protector of women. So, Trumpy was on a real one the other day, and he tweeted out some, I hate calling them truths, because one, it sounds retarded, and two, the guy's never told the truth a day in his life, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep calling his stupid Twitter wannabe posts, tweets. Anyway, women are poorer than they were 4 years ago, are less healthy than they were 4 years ago. Is that true, ladies? You're less healthy than you were in a global pandemic? You know, when there were bodies lined up in refrigerated trucks in the streets and mass graves all over the country. Are you feeling less healthy now than you were 4 years ago? Anyway, are more depressed and unhappy than they were 4 years ago. Pretty sure that one's not true either. And are less optimistic and confident in the future. You know what? I'm not doing this justice. Let's have one of you gals read it. Oh, here we go.
Where my Trump girlies at? We're about to win this election. I've been a little worried about President Trump. He's not doing well in the polls with women, but then last night, a miracle happened. I don't know whether it was his wife, or his advisor, or Jesus Christ himself, but somebody spoke to him. Last night, President Trump put out a message directly speaking to the concerns of women. If you haven't heard it, I'm gonna read it to you. Women are poorer than they were 4 years ago, are less healthy than they were 4 years ago, are less safe on the streets than they were 4 years ago, are more depressed and unhappy than they were 4 years ago, and are less optimistic and confident in the future than they were 4 years ago. I will fix all of that and fast, and at long last, our because it is now where it always had to be, with the state and a vote of the people, and with powerful exceptions like those that Ronald Reagan insisted on for rape, incest, and the life of the mother, not allowing for Democrats demanded late-term abortion in the 7th, 8th, 9th month, or even the execution of a baby after birth. I will protect women at a level never seen before.
That's how that works, right? You just get a fat old guy to shout at you to stop carrying about abortion, and then you ladies stop thinking about it, right? You stop thinking about how a woman is charged with murder after she had a miscarriage in South Carolina. You know, that's something you can just shout away, right? If we get a fat enough guy in orange makeup to yell at you to stop thinking about it, you gals will just stop thinking about it, right? That's how that works. You'll just stop thinking about how his vice president wants to be, or is caught on tape saying he wants abortion to be illegal nationwide.
Do you think it will be resolved nationally? That's Adrian's. He was very serious about it. He was like, it's going to be resolved nationally. And I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would like abortion to be illegal nationally. I don't, Adrian's like a smart lawyer, and
He definitely is. I mean, he's great. I mean,
yeah, so I'll just get a fat guy in orange makeup to shout at you, and you'll stop caring about that, right, ladies? Anyway, what else we got here? What else? Trump can't distance himself from Project 2025. Yeah, there we go. Let's take a look at that. So, Trump's constantly trying to claim that he has nothing to do with Project 2025, and he has no idea what it's all about, and all this other horseshit that's blatantly not true, because here he is in 2022 openly praising it as his future plans for his party.
Our country is going to hell. The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
A colossal mandate. It's coming. When they, yeah. Sounds like he has nothing to do with it. And his VP wrote a glowing foreword to Project 2025's leader's upcoming book. Republican Vice Presidential nominee praises Kevin Roberts' conservative vision, stymieing Trump's effort to deny ties. Yeah, it's kind of impossible, especially since all his biggest sycophants, like Alex Jones, are constantly shouting out how great they think it is and telling people to sign up for it.
So he hears heat on this Heritage Foundation full commitment with a Trump plan that I've read. It's 90 pages long. Most of it's excellent. I mean, I would say it makes the Heritage Foundation go from like a C- to an A+ in my view.
Yeah, A+, A+. Well, you could argue that Alex Jones is just a crazy right-wing jackass with a podcast, which apparently he doesn't even have that anymore, but Steve Bannon was one of his former advisors, so it's kind of harder to just say he's some crazy right-wing jackass. And here he is telling people to sign up for it.
This is called power. It's all free. You go to project2025.org, you download, first off, they get the policy background. You start to immerse yourself in the policy. Then they allow you actually to volunteer and build your own profile to be one of the 3,000.
Yeah, you can sign up for it. Just go here to this fancy little website. Oh yeah, and then there's this undercover investigation that these guys did where they pretended to be donors to sign up for. Do I have this open already, or let's see. Oh, I do. Okay, let's check this out over here.
Two undercover reporters posing as donors are about to meet one of the key architects of Project 2025, the radical plan for Trump's second term, in a hotel suite rigged with hidden cameras.
Nice to meet you.
Would you like coffee or something?
I'd love coffee, yeah.
Great.
Meet Russ Vogt.
Russell Vogt, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget.
He's been called the most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's the Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vogt were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin,
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
he now runs a group called Center for Renewing America.
An organization that I helped turn into the Death Star that is accomplishing all the debates that you are reading about. I think you.
The Death Star. You know, of all the Star Wars references he could have gone with, he chose the Death Star. You know, so it's not like he doesn't know which side he's on here.
You have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history. Block funding for Planned Parenthood. I want to be the person who crushes the deep state.
Vogt is one of the key authors of the blueprint for a second Trump administration.
Project 2025.
It's an ambitious 920-page blueprint.
Like eliminating the Department of Education.
The mass firings of civil servants.
Banning access to the abortion pill and further restricting abortion rights.
In recent weeks, the plans have become so controversial that Trump has been forced to distance himself.
They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25.
Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document.
But behind closed doors, Vogt tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman of Project 2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against a brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting, he's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization, he's raised money for our organization, he's blessed it from the, I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
Our investigation into Project 2025 began 2 weeks before the meeting with Vogt at a conference for religious nationalists in D.C.
The truth is, Christian nationalism is not a threat to American democracy. Christian nationalism founded American democracy.
Journalists from the Center for Climate Reporting have come posing as potential donors, looking to meet those involved in Project 2025. They're not hard to find. The Heritage Foundation, the group running the project, are here. So is Vogt's think tank. We make the acquaintance of Mika Meadowcroft, an author on Project 2025 and a close aide to Vogt. He tells us that Vogt is running the secretive second phase of Project 2025.
And the second phase, after the book came out, was to break down actual sort of policy packets and executive orders and agenda items and things like that. That's been supervised largely by us.
The first phase of Project 2025 was a 922-page policy book published openly. The second phase is a comprehensive, concrete transition plan for each federal agency. These much more detailed plans are confidential.
Yeah. Because obviously you want as little of it to be FOIA-able, if you're familiar with the FOIA process, as possible. Freedom of Information Act, yeah.
The Freedom of Information Act allows the public to request government communications, but Meadowcroft reveals they plan to avoid these rules.
Yeah, the goal is, familiarize all the transition team people with these plans, but you don't actually, send them to their work emails, because then, you could just give the handbooks to everyone, be like, this is the game plan for the admin. Yeah. If the press knows that that's what you're doing, that they're going to immediately just say, I request all of your emails from Heritage. Okay. You are a worker.
I see.
So we'll see.
Interesting.
Meadowcroft offers to set up a meeting with his boss, Russ Vogt.
You could put me in touch with somebody who looks after his diary or whatever.
Yes, I can put you in touch with his schedule. Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
great.
So just tell me when to do that.
We want to meet the man writing the game plan for Trump's second administration. Vogt believes that in his first term, Trump's agenda was frustrated by what he calls the deep state. So Vogt is planning a radical centralization of government power under the president. firing civil servants and ending the independence of agencies like the FBI and DOJ.
80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of these bureaucracies. And we are working doggedly on that, whether it's destroying their agency's notion of independence, they're independent from the president.
Vogt has also been preparing documents based on fringe legal theories, arguing the president has the power to use the military against protesters.
George Floyd obviously was not about race, it was about destabilizing the Trump administration. Right. We put out, for instance, a 50-page paper designed for lawyers to know that the president has, the ability both along the border and elsewhere to maintain law and order with the military, and that's something that it's going to be important for him to remember and his lawyers to affirm. But we've given them the case for that.
With loyalists installed in key government agencies and armed with his playbook, Vogt believes a radical Christian nationalist agenda can be realized under a second Trump presidency. For example, on abortion.
So I think the president's actually come up with a strategy that works, so long as you are giving people like me in the government the ability to block funding for Planned Parenthood, block funding for fetal tissue research. But what I've told people is he had the most pro-life record ever. I've never seen him to stand in the way of a pro-life initiative that actually was real, politically and with momentum.
And for Vogt, Trump's pick for vice president shows he's serious about pushing this ideological agenda when in power.
So I am very happy with the JD pick. I think it's transformative for sure. And think of him as a member version of what we do. So there's no think tank, no policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has and that JD has.
But as public backlash against these plans builds, the Trump campaign has been scrambling to distance themselves from Project 2025's authors.
It's complete and utter bullshit for any reporter to write that this is the way it is. The president's made it clear these people do not speak for him. They do not speak for the campaign.
But Vogt tells us that behind the scenes, things are much friendlier. The Trump campaign recently picked him to write the Republicans' policy platform, making him essentially Project 2025's man on the inside.
I think the best example is like the campaign selected me to be the platform because of their views on my policy ideas, and they're not running from all of the negativity that I get from the press.
I see. So they haven't been spooked on you as a person, you don't think?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be their transition pick because then they have all these kinds of stories. But no, the relationship is great.
The head of the Trump transition team has not yet been appointed, but Vogt says that no matter who is named, he'll be able to hand over his Project 2025 battle plans directly.
If it's someone like a Stephen Miller or Bob Lighthizer, then all this stuff gets plugged right in. If it's not, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But all of it will be designed for a theory of the case that President, if a battle plan is out there that will do what he wants, there are the people like me that have his trust that will be able to get it to him in whatever position we're at, or I could be at Center for New America, but the relationships will be there, the trust level will be there.
Project 2025's Radical Phase 1 policy book turned into a PR disaster.
The director of Project 2025 has stepped down after facing criticism from both Democrats and the Trump campaign.
But Vogt's Phase 2 battle plans, top secret and handed directly to the transition team, remain unburdened by the brand.
And are you going to rebrand that second phase at all?
For what I do, the brand's not important.
And you're not worried that if it has Project 2025 on, he's going to go
no.
And you're not going to publish those?
No.
They go straight to...
Yeah, they're very, very close hold.
Okay.
Brilliant. It's been an education.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you very much. You can show us stuff out.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, I mean, kind of sounds like, he knows what's going on there, but, I mean, like, it's also kind of funny that the guy, like, refers to it as the Death Star. I mean, he knows exactly, like, these guys have no disillusions. I mean, there's always that kind of cliche thing where, like, the bad guy doesn't know he's the bad guy and he thinks he's the only one doing good in the world. It's like, these guys know exactly which side of history they're on. They know exactly what they're doing. He refers to himself or his own thing as the Death Star. It's like, of all the Star Wars references you could possibly make, that's an interesting choice there, guy. But, yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing. Go back. Yeah, so Trump likes to claim that this Agenda 47 is actually his plan once he gets back in office, and he has nothing to do with Project 2025. So let's just take a peek and compare the two policies, shall we? Let's see if we can get a bigger version of this here. Because I cannot see that. Let's see. There we go. So, let's start from left to right here. Federal workforce. Agenda 47, Trump's plan. Reissuing Schedule F to reclassify federal employees as at-will employees, making it easier to fire them. Loyalist strategy. Project 2025, Heritage Foundation's plan, proposes reclassifying federal employees to facilitate their removal and ensure loyalty. Sounds kind of similar, doesn't it? What is the similarities? Both plans aim to reclassify federal employees to make it easier to fire those involved in policy decisions, increased executive power. Speaking of executive power, expanding executive power by consolidating control over the federal bureaucracy is his plan in Agenda 47. And comparing that to Project 2025, concentrating power in the executive branch and purging career civil servants. Similarity, both plans seek to increase executive power and centralize control and power within the White House. Doesn't sound like there's a whole hell of a lot of difference, does there? Immigration. Trump's plan, enacting strict immigration policies, including mass deportations and border security measures. Yeah, he loves going on about those mass deportations, doesn't he? Mentions them every time he holds a rally. And Project 2025, implementing the largest domestic deportation in U.S. history and enhancing border security. Similarities, both plans emphasize strict immigration enforcement and large-scale deportation, increasing federal interaction and executive power. Not much of a difference here, is there? Education. Trump's plan, eliminating the Department of Education and promoting school choice through vouchers. Project 2025, removing federal oversight, education, and promoting school vouchers. Similarities, both plans advocate for dismantling the Department of Education and increasing school choice options, increased executive power. Deregulation. Trump's plan, rolling back regulations on businesses and reducing environmental protections. Project 2025, dismantling regulations and promoting fossil fuel interests. Similarities, both plans on deregulating industries and reducing environmental protections. Civil rights. Trump's plan, rolling back protections for LGBTQ+ individuals and restricting gender-affirming care. Project 2025, eliminating anti-discrimination protections and banning gender-affirming care. Similarities, both plans aim to reduce civil rights protections for LGBTQ+ individuals. Healthcare. Trump's plan, expanding Medicare Advantage and reducing government involvement in healthcare. Project 2025, promoting privatized healthcare options and reducing government healthcare programs. Similarity, both plans support the privatization of healthcare, reducing government-provided healthcare services. Abortion and contraception. Restricting access to abortion and contraception is Trump's plan, and Project 2025, implementing federal laws against mailing abortion pills and restricting access to contraception. Similarities, both plans seek to restrict access to abortion and contraception. Trade and tariffs. Imposing tariffs to protect American industries and renegotiating trade deals is Trump's plan. Project 2025, implementing trade policies that protect American industries from foreign competition. Kind of sounds like the same thing, doesn't it? Similarity. Both plans prioritize protecting American industries through tariffs and trade policies, significant government intervention in the market contrary to the free market principles, increased executive power. Law enforcement. Trump's plan, increasing funding and support for law enforcement agencies to fund the FBI. Project 2025, proposing significant changes to DOJ and FBI, focusing on loyalty and alignment with executive priorities. Similarities. Both plans emphasize restructuring law enforcement agencies to align with with executive priorities and increase executive power. So yeah, kinda sounds like the exact same thing except with a different name and slightly different wording, doesn't it? So, do with that information what you will. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, and then there's that clip that we listened to earlier where J.D. Vance admits that he wants a national abortion ban.
Do you think it will be resolved nationally? That's Adrian's. He was very serious about it. He was like, it's going to be resolved nationally. And I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would like abortion to be legal nationally. I don't, Adrian's like a smart lawyer, and I'm not. He
definitely is. I mean, he's great. I mean,
so yeah, if the fat bastard keels over dead from one of his McDonald's-induced heart attacks, you'd be left with this jackass that wants a national abortion ban. Even though, let's be honest, Trump wants a national abortion ban too. Oh yeah, and then another fun tidbit about this author of Project 2025. He apparently killed his dog with a shovel. Which is kind of ironic that all these Republicans are, going on about other people killing pets in Ohio, since it mainly seems to be Republicans that are obsessed with killing their dogs. South Dakota Republican governor or senator or whatever the hell she is, Kristi Noem, defends killing her dog. And, right-wing dipshit Twitter celebrity Cat Turd ran over his dog while he was drunk one day. So, kind of seems like they're the one killing all the pets. But, yeah, anything to spread racist lies. Anyway, what else we got here? Oh, yeah, some Mark Robinson updates. Let's see. Yeah, so the gift that keeps on giving is this Mark Robinson story. And as long as you idiots don't fucking reelect him, I mean, this is all pretty funny. But it is kind of scary that this guy is even being considered an option at this point. But yeah, there's been some updates since we last covered him. So let's take a peek here. Where's the new stuff? Oh yeah, so we have a clip of him now trying to defend his own depraved bullshit by choosing none other than to compare himself to Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby. Interesting choice.
Honestly believe, Chris, that is what the left is doing with the Harvey Weinsteins, the Bill Cosbys, the Matt Lauers. They have picked out an elite group of people that have committed these so-called sexual crimes or whatever kind of crimes they've committed or offenses, and they have thrown those people underneath the bus, eating their own, to breed a spirit of fear in people, so people will be afraid to stand up and speak up and get involved, because they want people to say, they know everybody's got something in their past. Everybody's sins come short of the glory of God. They know that. They tried to...
Yeah, everybody brags about being black Nazis and saying that they would have owned slaves if they could, and, saying that they wish women couldn't vote. Yeah, everybody's got that in their past, right? Right?
Destroy our resolve and our will and trying to make us afraid to stand up and speak the truth. Don't let it happen, folks. Look at this stuff for what it is.
Why does he look high as a kite here? His eyes are like slits. They're barely even open.
This thing that they did with Kevin Hart, and this thing all the way back, like I said, to Harvey Weinstein, the Bill Cosbys, all of them. It's all part of that same plot.
Yeah, you know, that thing with Kevin Hart where he cheated on his wife, and that thing with Bill Cosby where he raped like 70 women, you know, I'm just an innocent victim like those guys. But apparently he's having some internal, troubles with his campaign because, last week, his campaign manager, deputy campaign manager, finance director, and senior advisor all resigned. And, he chose to phrase it as, making some staff changes. Which is, I guess one way to put it. Let's get a live update of his campaign there. Ah, yeah, there it is. Which led notorious grifter, conspiracy theorist dipshit Jack Berkman to announce on Twitter that he was taking over as Robinson's campaign manager, which led to investigative journalist Sam Stein just having a hilarious back and forth with him to confirm these his little announcement here. Just in case you're not familiar with who Jack Berkman is, I mean, him and Jacob Wall are just two of the dumbest grifters in the right-wing griftosphere. Maybe I'll do a deep dive on them later, but yeah, here, Sam Stein reported that shortly after news broke that Mark Robinson's staff was quitting en masse, notorious dirty trickster political doofus Jack Berkman tweeted that he had agreed to take on the role of Robinson's new campaign manager. This seems fishy. Berkman is known for idiotic pranks, and he and his partner in crime, Jacob Wall, pleaded guilty to a felony charge of telecommunications fraud in Ohio for some harebrained robocall idea in 2020. They've repeatedly made up fictitious allegations of sexual assault against prominent political figures. We asked Berkman for proof. He sent a screenshot of a tweet from a person named James Miller, who was claiming to be a senior advisor to Robinson, in which Miller shared Berkman's own tweet proclaiming to be the new campaign manager. Except Miller doesn't appear to be real. His X handle includes a profile pic that is photoshopped image of a Wall Street Journal employee. There is no prior record of him working for Robinson. We responded to Berkman by noting that Miller isn't a real person. Oh, I see, Berkman wrote back. Excuse my senility. Shortly thereafter, Robinson himself tweeted that online rumors of new hires were just rumors. A campaign spokesman confirmed that Berkman had not been hired. So just the dumbest. I don't know what this guy's issue is, but he's just so desperate for attention. It's weird, man. But yeah, in order to try and clear his name, Robinson rejected offers of tech help to investigate posts on the porn site. So I mean, I don't know about you, but if I were trying to clear my name for something that I claimed wasn't real and was all done with AI, I'd probably want the help of the tech bros to help investigate and get to the bottom of who was creating all these vicious lies about me. But not old Robinson. Marky Boy said, no thanks, I got this. So yeah, it just makes it seem like more of a slam dunk that it definitely was his, as if we ever actually had any reason to doubt that it was. J.D. Vance, on the other hand, says he doesn't quite believe it, doesn't quite not believe it.
Do you believe him that those were not his posts?
I don't not believe him. I don't believe him. I just think that you have to let these things sometimes play out in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, well, Ted Budd, a North Carolina Republican senator, was a little bit less upfront about it.
I've had conversations with him. Again, they're very disturbing. It's up to him to prove to North Carolina voters over the next 40-some days.
I've had conversations with him. Again, they're very disturbing, but it's up to him to prove to North Carolina voters over the next 40-some days. And then off camera, he said, I'm going to always vote for Republicans because we have the best platform.
Mm-hmm. Shame is dead, Jake.
Yup. Shame is dead in the Republican Party. Literally, like 30 seconds after the camera's turned off, they'll be like, yep, I'm voting for him anyway. Yeah. Shameless. That's next here. Trump trying to buy votes. Yeah, so Trump I don't know, took his first ever visit to a grocery store the other day.
Oh, look, I gotta get some. Look at that stuff. This is what I want. Just have it. We gotta get it.
Yeah, that guy he's handing the popcorn to is Walt Nauta, his co-conspirator in the classified documents case. So, kind of crazy that this guy is still, being his fucking handbag guy, just following around carrying his luggage everywhere he goes. But, kind of seems like a conflict of interest there.
My mom just got a bag of that, actually.
Is it good stuff? Good?
She says it's the best.
Is that the best?
She says it's the
best. If it is, I'll be in Washington, D.C., hopefully in the Oval Office. I'll send for popcorn, okay?
Appreciate it.
Send for popcorn. And, so when he got to the register, he just started handing out money to everybody.
They took something. This is more than enough. If you have anything left over, just take it as tips, okay?
Just take it as tips, he says.
Give it to the rest of the store.
Yeah, just give it to the rest of the store. Yeah, just a tip, that's all. Definitely not trying to buy your vote. Even though that's exactly what he's doing.
Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100. We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you. Take the rest of it.
Doesn't saying that he's going to do that for you from the White House kind of make it not a tip? It's kind of like implying, hey, vote for me and I'll give you more money. You would hope that these people aren't dumb enough to fall for that, where they're just like, oh yeah, I'll take that $100 up front to be screwed out of thousands of dollars every year for the next 4 years, assuming you aren't a dictator and just do away with elections altogether. But how do we know that he's trying to buy votes? Well, because at his RNC speech, he's blatantly just admitted that he's trying to buy votes.
Remember this in November? And give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that. Buy your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing he will ever be honest about. And all these fucking yuppies clapping like trained seals. Arf, 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 buy our vote, arf, arf, arf. Yeah, it's so depressing, man. Just morons. Alright, what else we got? Oh yeah, the crime stats for last year came out recently, and where is it? Fake crime stats. Okay, yeah. So the crime stats from the FBI were released, and Maga just doesn't trust any institution that exists now, since their guy isn't in charge, and I don't know how that makes any goddamn difference, since the FBI is not directly connected to the White House, hence why they're able to launch a bunch of investigations into him during his administration. But, try explaining that to the magtards out there, and, you might as well talk to a brick wall. But, the FBI report indicated that murder and other violent crimes dropped across the U.S. last year, and, in typical Fox News fashion, they immediately went on there to claim that, all the stats are fake and they're not calculating properly, and luckily, this is one of the few times where the mainstream media has actually done their fucking job and actually debunked these claims for once.
The murder capital of the country, New Orleans, is not included. Mm-hmm. Chicago, not included.
New York City,
LA, not
Los
included.
Angeles.
Besides all the major metropolitan areas with all the homicides, everything else is fine.
That's it.
That's
Things
it.
move very
quickly across the internet. But these FBI statistics leave room for questions, because there are a lot of cities, major cities like Los Angeles, that are not providing that information.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but because we looked this up.
That redheaded bitch is a Republican strategist, by the way. So, she's got to stick to the GOP, standard GOP talking points.
I've heard this before. The FBI addressed this today. Those major cities now are reporting their crime statistics. So,
but they didn't
numbers,
in 23 on these numbers. When you go to the FBI website, they're not there, especially for homicides in LA.
Let me answer what you're saying. So now they do. Los Angeles, New York, all the major cities, any city with over 1 million people, those police departments report into these statistics.
Across the board. And it's important to point out, because you'll hear Donald Trump and others say, well, big cities are left out of this FBI data. That's not true. It was true in 2021 when they changed the way they collected the data. This data set includes every city of more than 1 million people, and it covers 94% of the U.S. population. Now, there are different ways of measuring crime, and there's a Justice Department victim survey that tries to capture crime that wasn't reported to police, and that shows some different numbers. But overall, it agrees that violent crime right now is about the same level it was in 2019 before the pandemic, and that survey doesn't measure murder. Murder, the drop is really is remarkable, and every murder is counted in the United States. There are no hidden murders, so it's really some remarkable good news, and it's distressing that people don't agree on the facts, because the facts are right out in front of us, Chris.
Yeah, but that's kind of the Maga thing to do these days. I love how the party of facts don't care about your feelings is now the party of my feelings don't care about your facts. Anyway, what's our last story? Oh yeah, for our final story today, our buddy, Jesus Christ, I really gotta figure out how to pronounce this guy's name. What is it here? Pekka Pekka, our buddy Pekka. I'm not even gonna try pronouncing the last name. I think that's how you say it. Pekka. I don't know. Whatever. He did a vatnik soup today on Tim Pool. So we'll be doing a deep dive into I guess he likes to call himself a journalist. I don't know. He's a right-wing podcaster, pundit dipshit that likes to pretend that he's not bald despite very clearly being bald. But yeah, so we'll just go through this today, and that'll be our final story since it's getting kind of late and I got shit to do. In today's Vatnik Soup, I'll introduce an American social media personality, Tim Pool. He's best known for being funded by the Kremlin, his right-wing media empire, his connections to several American conspiracy theorists, and for his cool beanie. Tim Pool rose to fame during the 2011 Occupy Wall Street protests, which he live-streamed together with a former realtor, Henry Ferry. He was one of the pioneers of doing live streams, where he also interacted with the audience and even let them direct him on the ground. Pool's footage was Poodle. Jeez, I found a new nickname for him, Poodle. Pool's footage was aired on NBC and other mainstream networks, and Time dubbed him as the eyes of the movement. In 2011, Pool described himself as an activist 100%, stating that he doesn't consider himself a journalist. A year later, things had changed, and Pool told El País that he's not an activist, but a journalist. In 2018, he said, "I don't align with the Occupy Wall Street," and never did. Later in 2021, he called the Occupy movement crooked. After the Occupy movement fizzled, Pool moved on to work with Vice Media. He started at Vice by covering the anti-government protests in Istanbul and was even awarded a Shorty Award, ironic, in the Best Journalist in Social Media category. During 2013 and 2014, Pool went to Ukraine to cover the Euromaidan and Revolution of Dignity that finally led to the collapse of the corrupt Yanukovych government. Based on his statements from the time, he seemed to be relatively pro-Ukraine. In 2014, Pool also interviewed the Finnish-German conspiracy theorist Kim.com. Kim is best known for his strong opposition of U.S. NATO and Ukrainian sovereignty, and less known for threatening to sue me for exposing him for this. In 2019, Tim hit the big leagues. He was invited to the Joe Rogan Experience together with Twitter founder Jack Dorsey. They both criticized the banning of right-wing provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos and for promoting hate. He was later reinstated by Elon, as is tradition. For his staunch support and platforming of right-wing provocateurs and conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones, Donald Trump invited Poole in 2019 to a White House event. The actual reason for this might have been the incident where Tim Pool supported Kim.com's conspiracy theory that a person named Seth Rich had leaked the emails of the Democratic National Committee in 2016. In reality, these leaks allegedly came from a Russian hacker group called Fancy Bear and were disseminated by Julian Assange's WikiLeaks. Tim Pool was also named as a super spreader of fake news over the voter fraud claims during the 2020 U.S. presidential election in a report from the Election Integrity Partnership. Politically, Tim has claimed to be a centrist, often criticizing the mainstream media as something that's skewed towards liberal and left-leaning audiences, and that's actually dying. This puts Tim in a position where he can frame Democrats as warmongers and, at the same time, support a convicted felon and sexual abuser like Donald Trump, who, by the way, has been classified as a hardcore conservative by On the Issues, an American nonpartisan organization providing information to voters on political candidates in America. In September 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice published an indictment in which they indicted 2 RT employees for funneling $10 million to a Tennessee-based company, Tenet Media, in order to promote pro-Kremlin viewpoints in the U.S. media. Tenet Media then made lucrative deals with U.S.-based YouTube influencers who were advised to produce YouTube influencers who were advised to produce polarizing and often anti-Ukraine content on their channels. Allegedly, Tim was paid $400,000 for these videos. That's actually $400,000 per month for these videos. Tim and the other content creators, including Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, claimed that they were not aware of the origins of the funds, but were happy to bash Ukraine and earn millions in return. Out of the bunch, Poole was the most hardcore when it came to talking shit about Ukraine, calling Ukraine one of the greatest enemies of the nation. He also claimed that allegations against Trump for working with Russia shouldn't be listened to, and that the Ukrainians run the U.S. Together with Elon Musk, Tim has also been one of the biggest promoters of the Civil War in the West narrative. In June 2024, Tim posted on X about a Ukrainian NGO that included his name on a list of accused or of impending aid to the country. Incidentally, Tim was at this point already receiving money from the Kremlin and was happy to cover their narratives via Tenet Media. After the indictment was published, Tim doubled down on his anti-Ukraine rhetoric, mocking the country's supporters. For example, he stated that the man who tried to assassinate Donald Trump should have been investigated for being a Ukrainian agent. Tim's co-host, Josie Glabich, aka the Red-Headed Libertarian, has also jumped into the pro-Kremlitarian train, and she'll be one of the speakers at yet another installment of the anti-war event organized by the Libertarian Party. Now here's how I see Tim Pool. I think he genuinely started as an anti-establishment activist, but once he became more popular and made friends with household names conspiracy theorists like Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, and Donald Trump, he became just a regular grifter. In January 2024, Tim, the man of the people Pool, was complaining that the private jets he uses, which used to be only a little bit more than first class, are now becoming too expensive. He then blamed the industry's collapse on diversity, claiming change and the Great Reset. Blaming climate change and the Great Reset. Tim also tried to gain popularity among the cool skate kids by offering $20,000 in prize money for an event at a local skate park. The organizers refused, after which he bought the whole skate park out of spite for $850,000, blaming the whole thing on the woke left. What a douche. But yeah, that's like just the tip of the iceberg. My book titled Vatnik Soup, The Ultimate Guide to Russian Disinformation has been published. You can order it here. Yeah, go buy his book and support this guy because he does a lot of good deep dives into these Russian stooges. Yeah, so that's Timmy Boy for you. I mean, like I said, just the tip of the iceberg of who Tim Pool really is, but God, it would take hours to do a full deep dive on him. But yeah, so, I don't know. I guess that's it for the day, and, I don't know, maybe tomorrow we'll do another one of those, just chillin', hanging out streams before we do the news. You know, you guys can come and, I don't know, talk if you want to talk, as long as you're not douchebags about it, and, yeah, we'll just chill. Anyway, I got stuff to do, so, I'm out of here until tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and, follow and all that horse shit that I gotta tell you.